Good morning, beautiful people. I don't know how well you can hear me. I'm speaking in my regular voice, but it's raining outside, so I'm not sure how good it's going to pick up the audio. But I thought I should document the build of my car. For anyone that watches this, just share the passion of car enthusiasts. And yeah, so today we're going to be installing a AEM fuel rail just to upgrade the fuel system to my car. So I'll let you guys see how it looks. What comes from the package, order from Amazon. This is spec'd for a 94-01 Integra. So this is what it looks like. How well I can zoom in. That. So this piece right here is the fuel pressure gauge. This does come separate. I did buy it on Amazon as well, but it's a completely separate item. I can put the link in the description below in case you guys want to purchase this as well. I just thought that it'd be a good color combination, black on black, so that's the way to go. But product does come with all of the O-rings that you'll need for the install, and all of the material that you'll need for this. It should be a pretty easy install. I'll let you guys know how it goes. And I'll show you what you have to take off from the original fuel rail. It's just transfer over to the next one, and that's pretty much it. So let's get started. So I'll just show you guys real quick what you have to take off from the original. So this here is the original fuel rail right here. This whole system. It's going to be this guy right here. This whole bar. So you'll want to take off the regulator. This regulator, I believe it's two 10mm or 12mm bolts on both sides. Just transfer it over to the other one. You'll have to disconnect your injectors. Just make sure you disconnect them all. And then this is the other thing we'll have to take off right here. And just transfer over to the other one. Should be. And then there should be two more bolts, which is this one and this one that we'll have to take off. I don't think the AEM one has the bracket for this, but that's fine. We'll just delete this and it should be okay. Just consider that for this car, just make sure that you open up your gas tank. Just go ahead and take off that cap just to release some of the pressure so it's not squirting gas all over the place. And yes, that is a Bel Air. So okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And once I take off all the stuff from the original fuel rail, I'll assemble it all outside and I'll show you guys what that looks like. That way it tends to be a little easier to just assemble it all outside and then just put it all together. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Just make sure that you have a bunch of rags with you in case it does spray. I made sure that my car doesn't have so much fuel in the gas tank, so it's basically on E, and I'll go ahead and pop that fuel cap off. Just to prevent as much fuel spill as we can, but just make sure you have some rags. Good idea. Just in case some of you guys are having difficulty with this guy right here, which is the one right at that tip, right down there. It's a size 22. This helped out. 22. Just make sure this rail is bolted down with the 3 bolts. And then just go ahead and put that in there and twist it off. Just be wary if you have a strut bar, make sure you cover that up because it could scuff your paint. It kind of scuffed a little bit there, but I mean, what can we do? The AEM fuel rail is going to look much nicer though, so not too bad. Alright, just FYI. So we're going to go ahead and start assembling the new one. This is the old one, if you guys can see. It's the old fuel rail. So we're just going to transfer all of the parts from this onto the other one. So I'll go ahead and get started. I am going to be taking this guy off right here, just because I want to make sure that it has Teflon and it's nice and secure. I don't want, this is a fuel system, so just make sure that everything's bolted correctly. You don't want to risk anything with this, because I mean your car can catch on fire or anything like that, so make sure it's all nice and secure. And this little elbow is separate, so you guys can see that. Elbow. It came separate. I'll put a link on the description in case you guys need to find this, because usually when you buy a gauge, there's no way that you're gonna be able to see. You're not gonna be able to see the gauge. It makes no sense. So usually you buy the elbow so it curves that gauge so you can see it. So I'll put a link. It was probably like $3. Just make sure something's on there, just to help. Seal it up a little bit. It's not going anywhere. Won't budge. So yeah, like I said, this is the regulator from the old one. We'll just be putting it back on the other one. Going right here. Pretty self-explanatory. 2 volts, just like this. Just make sure that for each injector that you're putting in, that you're using the supplied O-ring for the top part. It will take a little bit of force to put it in there, but just be a little careful. You don't want to be ripping these guys, so just you might have to use some force, but just be diligent in terms of not ripping the O-rings. That's going to be not good news, so go ahead and do that. So the fuel rail is pretty much ready to go back on. Go ahead and like take advantage and maybe clean up in here a little bit, just so it's a little cleaner. So I'll go ahead and do that and start assembling it back on the car. Alright, so just to recap, what we did is the AEM fuel rail. I'll give you guys take a look at this. Just make sure that after everything's bolted down that this is capped right there, and that this is nice and tight. This guy here, this is a 22, and I believe this one's a 19. Just make sure those are torqued down, because you want this to stay a closed system. So you're gonna go ahead and enter your car, turn on the switch, and it's easier with 2 people, but just to make sure that you have no leaks, go ahead and turn on the switch and go ahead and run really quick to see if there's any fuel leaks. Hopefully there's not, and that should be it. So you can actually go ahead and start firing up the car. You hear priming. Go ahead and walk inside. Check if there's any leaks. Looks like there's nothing. So that's good. Make sure all your injectors are good to go. So go ahead and fire up the car. It should turn on. since I do have the pressure gauge, it should show. It. The pressure gauge did show there was around like 48, 47 on the gauge, so that's pretty healthy for this motor. Alright, so just to recap, the AEM fuel rail is for, I believe this one's for a 94 to 01. It should fit 94 to 01. It comes with everything supplied. I'll put the link in the description. It should be from Amazon, as well as the fuel pressure gauge and the elbow. I'll put those down below as well. Just make sure that everything's torqued down, that you check that there's no leaks or anything like that. So I'm no expert, just a disclaimer. I just like cars and just like working on them. This is my project car, so the next video should be a full walk around. I go ahead and do that, just so in case anyone wants to watch. Car enthusiasts, people who like to work on cars or Integras or in general. Hopefully this served as educational or maybe even entertaining, so hopefully you took from that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.